believe it or not, it's coming up on 25 years since I graduated law school. And I don't often like to think about that because it was a long time ago. But of course, I do love to reflect on how things have changed and where I've gone on this journey to get to where we are today with Erik M. Pelton and Associates and our clients. And I was reflecting on some of the lessons that I learned in law school that I apply to my trademark work every day. I was reflecting on this summer, actually working with some of our law student interns here in our office. And so that's what made it fresh and made me think about this. And these are not book or legal things that I learned in law school, but more, well, you'll see from the tips, the nature of them. Okay, the first one that I learned in law school is that the practice of law and the connection with entrepreneurs is tremendously underserved. The big law firms, the majority of big law decisions and cases and court filings relate to big corporations. They have the money. They pay the big law firms. That's how the world works, unfortunately. And so the small business, the entrepreneur, while they are the backbone of the economy and of many communities throughout the United States, that connection to working with lawyers is not nearly as strong. They don't necessarily know about the law or know what they don't know about the law. They don't necessarily have a lawyer on retainer to work with, or they don't necessarily want to work with a lawyer until they really have no other alternative and are in a difficult situation. So I'm always working on spreading the message of trademark protection to more entrepreneurs and thinking about that all the time. Second important thing I learned in law school that I apply every day in the world of trademarks is that billing by the hour, which is what most law firms do, is silly. Billing by the hour means that time is the controlling mechanism, and that time is going to impact the cost, it's going to impact the decisions, it's going to impact the strategy. We bill since day one in 1999 based only on flat fees. And that's because we're charging for the value. Of course, the time is a factor in the overall project, but we want to bill based on our experience and our service and the value that we're providing to our clients. And we fight for a trademark application, whether it takes 2 hours or 20 hours, it's the same cost, the same flat fee, because we're charging for the value of our service guiding through that entire application process. Third and finally is that when you study the law, you begin to realize, or at least I began to realize, that there is the law on one hand, the statutes, the laws, the court opinions interpreting them, and there are the facts of any given case or item before you. And then there is the persuasion. And the persuasion is really the important part. Who's going to do a better job taking the law, taking the facts, and persuading a judge, a jury, a trademark examiner of the outcome that is desirable? And this persuasion often means telling a story. So you see this in opening arguments or closing arguments or in trials and litigation. But what I've come to realize is that this story actually applies to the trademark application process as well. We're telling a story for a brand. And in strategizing how to best protect that trademark and sometimes how to navigate it through the obstacles at the USPTO, we're essentially telling and writing a story for that brand, creating a story that brand becomes protected. And I think all of this is because, I majored in undergrad in anthropology. And so this for me is really connecting that anthropology, liberal arts background to the more rigid, concrete legal training and focusing on the story. And as I've said before, a trademark application is really a blend of an art and a science. And where that blend really comes through is the story. So nearly 25 years after graduating law school, still learning and still reflecting on all that I learned. I hope you found this enjoyable. If you're looking for more content, you can find more podcast episodes at ericpelton.live. You can find more video content at ericpelton.tv. And if you've enjoyed this, please give it a like or a share or a comment.